Guys, welcome back to my channel and this is chapter 80 Enemy of My Enemy. Let's get started. Well, now Mason's heart is shattered almost. Now playing as no. I spent the first day of the new year rehearsing the last year's mistakes. First with text from Mason's, then again during my run-in with Ava at the park. And by the time I marched an out of breath Hazel into Buddy's garage for my shift that afternoon, I was already making new mistakes. You're late. I know, I'm sorry. I didn't have sorry, I had no, and if no expects to be paid for a full day's work, he's gonna have to show up on time. I get it, Buddy, it won't happen again. I give you my word. I respect a man who doesn't offer excuses, so I'll let it slip, but in this business, showing up is as easy as it's gonna get. You're a damn good mechanic, no, but that doesn't mean a thing if I can't rely on you. Before I could say anything, Hazel peeked out from behind me and looked Buddy up down. Mama says damn is a bad word. Hazel, don't say damn. Especially not my boss who's already pissed at me. But Buddy just smiled and kneeled down to her level. You should listen to your mama, cause it's a bad word. As a matter of fact, I should wash my mouth out. A popsicle should do the trick. You want one? Immediately her face lit up and she edged out from behind me. Can it be cherry flavored? One cherry popsicle for the little lady coming right up. And as for you, no. Buddy stood up and waved an arm at sea of cars waiting to be worked on in the bay. Your plate is pretty full already. Chop chop. While Hazel followed Buddy to the break room for a snack, I set my sights on the nearest cars. Sensible cop. Start her up. The engine sputtered and groaned as it turned over, and I threw my on the emergency brake before pumping it at the jack and rolling under it. Alright, let's see what's going on. I dove into the parts and pieces, loving the feel of getting my hands dirty. Immediately, the fuel and ignition system components stood out, and I set about fixing them. Technically, I could piece together the parts we have got here and save a customer a little money. Or I could rip out the old system and put in all the new parts for added security. One by one, I pulled out the old parts and refitted them with the bits of a spare wire hanger until they fit together good as new. And when I put the key in the ignition, the car roared to life. It's not pretty, but it works. And more than that, it's hundreds of dollars cheaper. But at the sign of the car starting up, Hazel came running out of the break room, a red, dripping popsicle in her hand. Yay, you did it. Does that mean we can go home now? Not quite, kid. I have still got all the rest of these to do. So you're gonna have to make yourself comfortable. That's okay. I like this place. It's got snacks and this. In the blink of an eye, she shot over the wall of power tools and lifted up the scanner. What does this one do? Gently, I took her out of her hands and put it back onto the shelf. It takes paint off cars and fingers off of little girls who aren't careful. So why don't you? Ooh, look at this car. Sports car. Oh, Hazel. As she rushed over to one of the client's cars, I silently cursed Buddy for giving her sugar. That's one super expensive and not very much not yours. I'm only looking. With sticky hands, she grabbed the door handle and yanked it open, engaging the car's scissor hinges and sending the doors skyward. Cool. That doesn't look like looking. She climbed inside and stood on her tiptoes in the driver's seat, one hand holding a popsicle, the other reaching as she leaned outward to close the door. Hey, please don't trip that on the interior. The emergency room is a lot less fun than this plane. Well, thanks for jinxing me. If I do it now, it's your fault. Hazel, I'm serious. Please get out of here. I helped her climb out, closing the door behind us, then turned back to my work, and Hazel wandered over to the bench, thoughtfully chewing her lip. Are you cranky because of stuff with Addie? At the sound of her name, I froze, and the look on Addie's face at the party last night came rushing back to me. Slowly, I took in a breath and released it. A little. Well, maybe if you told her how you feel, you two can stop fighting and make up. Who said we were fighting? You haven't texted her all day, and the last time that happened, it's cause you were arguing. I hadn't realized how much Hazel paid attention to the things like that. But it made me wonder what else she knew that I didn't. You wanna know what I think you should do? What do you do? Give no advice as Hazel. Focus on work. I slipped a jack under the car and I worked on and prepared to do an oil change. Actually, I have got to get this finished or we are never getting out of here. But thanks for looking out for me. You worry about everything else. Somebody's got to worry about you. It's a nice thought, well. Hours later, I called over to Hazel as I tightened down the last bolt of an alternator I had replaced. All done. Just gotta fill out a quick form and then we can go, okay? But when she didn't answer, I looked over to find her laying on the bench, eyes closed and snoring softly, talking about sleeping on the job. I draped my jacket over her, but as I scribbled down the costs of parts and labor, my phone rang from the pocket. Hazel stirred and I hurried to answer, only to see Mason's name cross the feed. It's been a long day. Whatever he wants is gonna have to wait. I ignored the call, but not even a moment later, the phone dinged in my hand. Annoyed, I silenced the ringer and shoved it in my pocket, formulating a response in my head. Mason, he is your dad, so he's your problem. If you wanna know what he's up to, ask him. That house of his may be big, but he can get off his butt and walk down the hall. I scooped a sleeping Hazel into my arms and stopped by Buddy's office on my way out. Everything's in working order, so I'm leaving. But I really am sorry about being late today. You can count on me, I promise. I'm only hard on you because you have a gift and I don't want to see you wasted. You could really make something of yourself as a mechanic. Thanks, but I am planning to go to Eastwood State in the fall. This is only temporary. But what if it didn't have to be? College isn't the only way to succeed in life. You could work here. I had trained you up myself, teach you everything I know. Maybe one day this could be No's garage. Buddy, I appreciate it, but you're not the only person counting on me. I have to do better for my family. Buddy eyed Hazel's sleeping form and sighed before climbing to his feet. I get it. I'm just saying you have options. He dug around in his pockets and finished out a wad of bills before slipping a sizable stack into my jacket pocket. Buy the little lady some popsicles. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. I headed through the bay door and out in the night air, ready to run Hazel home. But as I set off down the sidewalk, a car roared down the road and nearly slammed into us. Whoa, watch it! My chest heaved as I watched the driver roll the window down, and I realized just who it was. Mason. No, I found you. What the hell, Jennings? This is a residential district. You were right about all of it. My dad is dirty, and we have got to take him down. Well, I see. Now is angry about particularly everything. Right, but this was it for chapter 80, and I hope you enjoyed it till the end. Thank you for watching me with me till the end. Bye bye. See you soon.